Court charges Bruce for cybercrime. Veteran comedian Henry Rodney dies at 63. GDF Skyvan's engine fails. Lands safely at Tamiri. And fishermen forced to fish in foreign waters. I am Enrico Bulford, and this is Uncut News. Do you see news happening? Send us a tip on WhatsApp at 592-659-6151. The police have actually decided to press charges against Kieran Bruce. He was placed on $100,000 bail today after he denied the charge in the Diamond Magistrates Court. He is being represented by attorney Bernard De Silva. Once he was released, Bruce placed a piece of blue Scotch tape across his mouth as he walked away from the media. He will make his next court appearance later this month. According to Acting Fire Chief Gregory Wickham, the list of promotions for firefighters is waiting for Minister Ben. When pressed about how long the list has been with the minister, Wickham responded, "For a little while." The promotion of firefighters has been stalled for months after 30 firefighters claimed that they were allegedly removed from the promotion list last year. Some of the fire officers were charged departmentally and/or had their pay deducted. Meanwhile, other officers contended that while there was no pending infraction against them, their pay was deducted and their names were removed from the list also. The GRA has launched a site at the Giftland Mall for the submission of tax returns and the registration of taxpayers. However, there's no word if Roy B. Potter has paid his taxes as yet. Nevertheless, the establishment of the site yesterday followed a similar setup at the Amazonia Mall 2 weeks ago. The sites have also been set up with the aim of preventing overcrowding at GRA offices. They also have a website where you can do some of those transactions. Now it's time to tell you about Best Buy's car of the day. Currently on sale, this is 2014 Audi Q3. It comes with Bluetooth, mud rims, new tires, TV, CD, stereo, fog lamps, electronic parking brake, lock camera, and much, much more. Buy cash for $5.6 million, or pay down as low as $1,120,000 down, with around $108,000 monthly for 5 years, and it's yours. Call or WhatsApp 662-0844 for more info, or visit the showrooms that look 171 Peter Street, Queenstown, or Lot 2 Lamar Street, and tell America sent you for this week's deal. The arts and entertainment community is mourning the death of veteran actor and comedian Henry Rodney. Rodney died yesterday at the Brookdale University Hospital in Brooklyn, New York, after fighting a long fight with Parkinson's disease. He was 63 years old. Rodney suffered a heart attack about 2 days ago and was in critical condition at the hospital. Best known for his role as Franklin in the popular sitcom Agree to Disagree, his career crossed lines into theater, spoken word poetry, comedy, radio, and television, and took him to stages across the Caribbean, the United States, Canada, and the United Kingdom. He will certainly be missed. 68-year-old vagrant Chatterpal Buddy Prasad was reportedly burnt to death by a mentally challenged man late Tuesday night in Wales on the West Bank. According to the police, the man was discovered in an abandoned, burnt-out vending stand in the area with burn marks on the left side of his body. Cops blamed the fire on a burnt-out makeshift oil, which was found on the burnt mattress. They also claimed that he likes to burn things. Meanwhile, Guyana Daily News says an eyewitness has a completely different story. They claim that a mentally unstable suspect had lit his mattress on fire late Tuesday night while Buddy Prasad and other vagrants were asleep. The other vagrants ran for their lives. However, Buddy Prasad was not so lucky. The police have made no mention of a suspect in the man's death. Yet another fisherman has gone missing after falling overboard during a fishing trip. 52-year-old Kalcharan Mohabir is currently missing somewhere, presumably in the Atlantic Ocean. Mohabir and 3 other fishermen left on Monday morning to fish. However, his sister said on Tuesday morning the owner of the fishing vessel informed her that Kalcharan had fallen overboard. The boat captain and 2 others were arrested. However, the grieving woman said her family is being told conflicting stories about what transpired. She also observed that the boat owner appears to be uninterested in assisting to find her brother. Instead, she appears to be more concerned about the 3 men in custody. She believes her brother was murdered and is calling on the police to conduct a thorough investigation into the matter. Who said luxury can't be affordable? Move into your own home in 2022. Lenore Estates West Coast Emerald properties are within your reach. Move out of the landlord's place and put that rent money towards your own 5,000 square foot property. Call or WhatsApp 592-618-5702 for more info. The Ministry of Public Works and the Ministry of Tourism, Industry and Commerce said they have noted that transportation providers for water, land transportation, and air operators to interior locations have imposed unilateral fare increases to customers. They announced today that the increases were unauthorized and have not been approved by the government. despite requests from certain operators to do so. They then went to pains to distance themselves from the increase. But the government has yet to say if they will do anything about the increases. But judging from the wording of the press release, probably not. Yesterday, a GDF Skyvan suffered an engine failure, but landed safely at the Chedijagan International Airport. According to Demerara Waves, 10 soldiers were returning from Mabaruma in the Northwest District when the right engine failed due to a power surge while the aircraft was flying over the Essequibo River. Another source said an investigation would be launched into the occurrence that appeared to have stemmed from bad weather. There was no reported visible damage to the plane. This was presumably one of the old used Skyvans the coalition bought in 2019, claiming that it was a good value. Well, you obviously get what you pay for, and fortunately for the folks in uniform, they made it home safely. Now for today's oil update. Exxon has selected a planned US $600 million Vreeden Hoop shore base established by local company NRG Holdings Incorporated to support its offshore oil operations. Exxon country president Alistair Rutledge alluded to this fact in a video recording on Monday without directly naming the company. According to Rutledge, the new shore base is expected to generate more jobs and business opportunities for Guyanese, as well as providing a foundation for a port facility on the Demerara River. You can multiply your cash by selling digital top-up. This is a legit way you can earn some extra money at your business or to supplement your current hustle. Become a top-up vendor quick and easy by linking with Cellular Plus. Call them on telephone number 685-3109 for more info. Now for our stupid news of the day. You know what I think is stupid? Fishing stocks in our waters are becoming so depleted that fishermen are now struggling to even break even after a 2-week trip on the ocean. And according to Guyana News, things are so bad now that fishermen are even going into illegal zones in order to fish. And by that I mean crossing into the territory of our neighbors, with some fishermen even going as far as the Venezuelan coast to the west and the Brazilian coast to the east. And with the increase in fuel and food costs, one fisherman says the cost to finance his trips went up from $600,000 to $800,000. And at the end of the day, they end up losing money on many trips. The government has promised to do a well-researched study on the decline in fish stocks. The Ministry of Agriculture has yet to give any updates, but promised to do so when the information arises. Nevertheless, updates and fancy words mean nothing for these men who are literally facing life and death just to make ends meet. Unfortunately, like yesterday, this is again a problem that I admit I am not qualified to solve, as I don't really have any answers. Only suggestion I have is something basic, like compensate the fishermen for now until we figure out how to reverse the impact of the increased marine traffic and noise on our local fishing stock. Well, compensation will help the fishermen, but now we then have to face the reality that not a drop of oil has been spilled, and already the oil industry has altered our previously undisturbed marine habitat. Because things like these have consequences, and to ignore them is pretty stupid. Now for our uncut news, views poll question of the day. Every day we pose a question about current events in Ghana, the region, the diaspora, and how you feel it relates to us. Yesterday's question was, do you think it was a good idea for Guyana to abstain from voting on this most recent UN resolution about Russia, or should we have picked a side? Why or why not? Our Seaview Farm says abstaining was the best decision. Neutral is the safest position. Indeed. However, Rob Peters disagrees. He says, Guyana needs to get inspired and vote for what is right. Abstaining because you're scared of the repercussions from Russia afterwards is a bad move. There are Guyanese folks that believe that Russia will be there for them when the war's over, because they supported them over the years. You can't have it both ways. What they are doing is wrong. You need to understand that you can't just sit back when things don't go your way and then jump on the bandwagon when the dust settles. It's the coward's way. That is one very well put point. However, I Am Bantu has a bit of a different viewpoint. He says Ghana abstained its vote because this government is no better when it comes to human rights. Just know that this will have grave consequences for the country in the future. I pray that it doesn't, but that's a good point. Before we get to tonight's question, do you own a truck? No, not the immunodisease, I mean a real truck, like DAF, International, Freightliner, Bedford TM, or Scammell. Then come, get high-quality truck parts at the lowest prices at Powered Automotive. Visit them at Lot 1161 EE Eccles, or call them on telephone number 6970171. Save big on truck parts at Powered Automotive, the #1 heavy-duty truck parts store in Guyana. Now for tonight's question. Today was the National Day of Prayer and Fasting. What was your prayer for Guyana? You better keep it clean, and the best ones I'll be reading on Monday. So I want you to think about that question and tell us in the comments below. If your response is good enough, we just might feature it in our next episode. Anyway, that's all the time we have for tonight, and check us out on Monday for another. Until then, I'm Rico Bulford saying, have a great weekend. And as always, don't drink and drive, or you'll end up on Monday's episode the hard way. Aha! Good night, folks.